It's already the third time in 3 weeks that we come together with ministers of finance, and that's of course necessary because of course we have the impact of the war in Ukraine, and of course I want to reiterate my full support to the Ukrainian people. And of course we have to check the impact of what is happening on the financial and the economic situation in Europe. We have to look at what measures we need to take, and I'm particularly concerned about the impact it will have on the energy markets. We see rising prices. We see also high peaks in the prices of gas, electricity, and we should really be concerned about that. And I know that our European leaders already checked what they can do, and the Commission will come with some proposals. But it's clear that we also should do some things at the national level. I put some proposals on the table of our government in Belgium, where we look at a reduction of the VAT on gas and electricity, and also look at the excise duties for the prices at the pump. Next to that, I think we should also have a discussion on the fiscal guidance in the coming year, 2023. I think we should actually, taking into account the Ukrainian war, we should actually look at what we have to do with the general escape clause. I don't think that we need any taboo on this, and we should discuss if we could actually prolong and do a prolongation of the general escape clause for the coming year. Well, I think we should. It's very difficult to predict, of course, today. We should look what the impact will be, and that's also one of the points that we will discuss today. But of course, there are a lot of things that are happening. For example, the rising energy prices, the rising prices of food, and that are things that we should take into account in the measures that we will take in the coming period.
But how much economic pain can the Eurozone actually say yes to? With sanctions hitting Russia at the moment, and of course then having implications on the Eurozone economy as well. How far can the EU go?
Well, I think that what is happening in Ukraine is terrible, and it's a brutal aggression of Russia, and so we need to, of course, put sanctions on it. And what is important now is that we show the unity that is actually necessary. We very quickly put some sanctions on the table. We have a couple of packages that are already on the table, and of course we know that they will also have an influence on our economic position in the coming period. And there we should, of course, also discuss what kind of support measures we can take for our people, but also for our companies.
And when it comes to defense spending, are you of the opinion that the Eurozone should do something similar to the Next Generation funds in order to invest more in defense?
Well, I think that that's a discussion that, of course, our European leaders already had in Versailles. I think that we should, of course, look what we will do in the coming period. We know that my country, but also other countries, are raising their expenditures and investments in the coming period. For example, for our country, we actually, just before the war, we made a very important decision on that. We, of course, need to see what is happening. What I'm a little bit afraid of is that we take out some investments out of the whole discussion. We need to avoid that every particular investment is taken out the package. I don't think that we need a golden rule for defense investments.
But are you worried that more defense spending will just make the overall deficit levels in the Eurozone much worse?
Well, I think that we had a discussion on the Stability and Growth Pact just before the war actually started. We had a discussion on that, and that's also the reason why I think that if we want to see, or at least that we should think about how we are going to deal with it in the coming year, and that's the reason why I just also said that it's necessary to think about, isn't it a good idea to prolong actually the general escape clause for one more extra year?
Sorry, one question. What do you think is the most important measure to cushion energy prices on an EU level? So not nationwide, but on an EU level. What should you and your colleagues, what should be done?
Well, I know that they are looking for a way how they can freeze the gas prices. I think we should really see if this is working and what the impact could be. We also need to avoid that the consequences could be worse due to the measures that are taken. I think for the moment it will be important that we at the national level take very quick some measures that have an impact on the bills that people are paying, and that's of course now the role that our countries and our member states needs to take. That's the decisions they need to take. Thank you very much.